This is the War Brief Daily for July 2nd, 2026. Over the last 24 hours, 3 developments changed the operating picture. Here's what we're covering. Ukraine's 40-day strategic pressure campaign against Russian command and control, and a new drone capability that could shift the air war. The fragile Iran ceasefire and the flashpoint most likely to break it. And a brief check on Sudan, where reporting for this specific window is thin. First, Ukraine. What looks like a series of drone strikes is actually one unified operation. On June 25th, President Zelensky approved a 40-day strategic pressure campaign, simultaneously targeting Russia's command and control networks, Crimea supply lines, and fuel infrastructure. The centerpiece is the Dubna Space Communications Center north of Moscow. This is a facility Russia uses for satellite reconnaissance and coordination with occupation forces in Ukraine. Confirmed, Ukraine struck it a second time on June 30th, the second hit in 8 days. Zelensky confirmed the strike publicly. Moscow Oblast Governor Andrei Vorobyov acknowledged a drone struck an administrative building. The first strike on June 22nd damaged a 32-meter Mark IV satellite communications antenna and the facility's main control building. Ukraine has now confirmed strikes on 4 similar facilities across Moscow and Vladimir Oblasts. The campaign also includes hits on the Azovsky and Ichnya bridges in Crimea and refinery strikes in Krasnodar and Tula. On the Russian side, in the June 28th to 29th cycle, Russia launched 142 drones and 8 ballistic and anti-ship missiles against Ukrainian infrastructure. Ukrainian air defenses downed all 6 ballistic missiles, 1 Zircon, and 125 of the 142 drones. 8 civilians were killed in Chernihiv and Kharkiv oblasts. On technology, Russia has fielded the Geron 5, a new jet-powered drone carrying a 90-kilogram warhead with a range of 1,000 kilometers, air-launchable from Su-25 aircraft. Commander Syrskyi has warned Russia is aiming to make jet-powered drones 50% of its strike mix. That capability shift is worth watching closely. On the ground, Russian forces have confirmed advances near Kupiansk, clearing Petropavlivka, Kurilivka, and Ribna. Note, the ISW July 2nd assessment is still pending as of this brief. We'll update when it publishes. Second, the Middle East. On July 1st, U.S. and Iranian officials held indirect talks in Doha, Qatar, confirmed by AFP and Al Jazeera. The broader Iran-Israel ceasefire is holding, extended roughly 60 days from late May, with UN nuclear inspectors back in Iran under the Islamabad framework. But the ceasefire has a clear weak point: Lebanon. Hezbollah has explicitly rejected the U.S.-brokered proposal, with Secretary General Naim Qassem calling it, quote, illusory. That's not ambiguity, that's a declared rejection. A single Israeli strike on Lebanon could unravel the broader ceasefire framework. That is the #1 secondary escalation risk in this window. Third, Sudan. The SAF-RSF conflict is in its 4th year. The primary battlegrounds remain Kordofan and Blue Nile State. Drone warfare between both sides is escalating, confirmed by ACLED. Reporting for this specific 24-hour window is sparse. No confirmed strikes or territorial changes for July 1st to 2nd. We'll say that plainly rather than fill time. Here's what to watch going into the next cycle. In Ukraine, the ISW July 2nd assessment, whether the Geron 5 begins degrading Ukrainian intercept rates, and whether Kyiv executes a 3rd Dubna strike. In the Middle East, the Doha talks are the live wire. A breakdown likely triggers Israeli resumption of strikes on Iran, and Lebanon remains one exchange away from a broader escalation. In Sudan, watch Blue Nile for any confirmed RSF movement. That's your War Brief Daily for July 2nd. No spin, no noise, just intel.